Just super quickly, this is not mine. The credit will be in the description for the Wattpad link. Also, please like, subscribe and comment, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. This year's winter break had been the best you'd had in years. Of course it was. You were spending it at the borough after all. The atmosphere was so much different from your own home. Everyone was so close, and the air was constantly filled with the pleasing aromas of cinnamon and Molly Weasley's home-cooked meals. There was never any silence, as it was always filled with chatter. You grew used to the sound of the twins' laughter and Percy's scolding, of Molly's humming while she cleaned the kitchen and the crackling fire at night. Your boyfriend, Ron, had invited you over sheepishly a few weeks before. You remember the event fondly. He had asked to meet you in the courtyard after classes. The poor boy was beet red before you even got the chance to say hello. Why, hey, he waved awkwardly as you approached. You wrapped him up in a hug when you were close enough. Ron, why do you have to meet me out here? It's freezing. You grumbled and wrapped your robes closer around you. An expression of worry briefly flitted across his face. Oh, here. He took off his scarf and placed it carefully around your neck. Better? Yeah, now it was your turn to blush. Cheesy as it was, the scarf smelled like him. It was comforting, even though he was right next to you. Hey, I wanted to ask you, you raised an eyebrow at him, silently asking him to continue. Would you like to come over for Christmas? I know I'm not exactly rich, so the house isn't very roomy. My family can be annoying, and my mom can be a bit overbearing. He cut off his rambling with a quick peck to the cheek. Ron, I'd love to. The sweet moment was cut short as soon as you heard snickers from behind you. Ron turned around, only to be met with a snowball to the face. You always giggle at the memory of the wild laughter from Fred and George after that. Ron had refused to even look at them for the whole day afterwards. That, and the teasing from your friends when you came back to the common room wearing a scarf that you definitely didn't leave with. Fallen into a routine while staying over, the two of you would wait until it was night time and the rest of the family was sound asleep for any hint of privacy. That was the only downside to the busy atmosphere of the household. You sneakily look at Ginny, your current roommate, to make sure she was still asleep before you left the room. She snored awake, quietly mumbling in her sleep. Something about Harry? That was interesting. You'd have to ask about that tomorrow. You slipped out of the room and walked down the hall, wincing at the creak of the stairs. You made your way down to the fireplace to meet Ron. You found him half asleep on the couch, 2 mugs of hot cocoa set on the table next to him. Ron, you shouted at him, gently shaking his shoulder. What? His shout of alarm was cut short by you pressing a finger against his lips. Shh, you don't want to wake up everyone, do you? Right, sorry. He sheepishly rubbed the back of his neck, turning around. He gestured at the mugs on the table. I made you some. I hope that's alright. I didn't want to make some just for myself. Your heart swelled. He still managed to give you butterflies with every action. Oh, Ron, you shouldn't have. You instantly regretted saying those words as you saw your boyfriend pale. I'm sorry, it was late and I was hungry. You smacked him fondly on the shoulder. You're really dense, you know that. You leaned over down to give him a quick kiss on the top of his head as you reached for the steaming mug of hot cocoa. But it's okay, I love you anyways. Settling down next to him, you sipped the warm drink. He glanced over at you. I'm surprised you're still wearing that, he admitted, gesturing at the knitted sweater you had on. Molly had gifted it to you a few days earlier. It was a lovely navy blue, with your first initial standing out with a proud gold colour. Huh? Why, it's cozy. You grinned and started rubbing the sleeves. And soft. He laughed and wrapped an arm round you, holding you close. He let out a contented sigh, and dropped your head against his shoulder, the crackle of the fire blazed in the background, providing the perfect cozy ambience. You felt his hand reach into your hair, lazily combing through it. The two of you sat quietly for a while, perfectly happy just to be in each other's company. He startled you a bit when he began to hum. It was a soft humming, and you felt the rumble of the bass in his chest. You looked up at him, eyes wide in awe. He stopped abruptly when he noticed you were staring. Sorry, Mum used to sing that to us all the time. It's stuck in my head tonight, don't know why, he said bashfully, a rosy pink dusting his cheeks. No, I liked it. He looked at you skeptically, and she said this. I mean it, you laughed. You insisted. He laughed and you settled back down, resting your head on his chest. He resumed your quiet humming, and you felt yourself drifting off. Your last memory before falling asleep was the feeling of his hand stroking your hair and the sound of the sweet lullaby. The morning started with the sweet sound of birdsong out the window, and a warm beam of sunshine falling across your face. You opened your eyes slowly, your initial confusion fading after you realized where you were. Ron was snoring away next to you, and his limbs were splayed all over the couch. How was that comfortable, Tim? You had no idea. You reached your arms over to stretch your sore muscles, and realized there was a blanket covering the two of you that definitely wasn't there last night. Looking around, you saw Molly in the kitchen preparing to start breakfast. She turned around, and her face lit up when she saw you. Ah, why, Hen, you're awake. Next time you should bring your own blankets. It was a bit of a hassle for me to bring them some down. She gave you a teasing wink. Flushed with embarrassment, but your heart filled with love. In the few days you'd been here, you'd already felt like part of the family. I looked down to see Ron sleeping peacefully, his chest rising and falling steadily. In that moment, you knew in your heart the burrow would always be home to you.